Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Getting it on, don't, yeah. Down. When we getting it downed, what's the first thing we have to do to hook up the propane grill? The propane to the Weber Spirit Grill. A full tank of propane. Well, first thing we got to do, this is for real. Get your American flag and go, woo, 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 woo. Yeah. Yeah, it was Bjorn Andreas Bull Hansen, some Norwegian guy. All right, so all right. As a man who's experienced pain in his life, pain and suffering in his life, I understand where the pain comes from. You know. So I'm seeing Bjorn Andreas Hansen. I don't know if he's a successful author. He says he's written many books. He's a wise man, whatever. And all that. You know, I don't know how much of it's facade, his fantasy inside his head, or how much of it's real. You know, I mean, sometimes with these characters, right? So sometimes you don't know if it's a hoax or if it's a joke or if these people are who they are, you know, face value. Okay, Tula, don't you do that. That hurt. Tula, no. All right, be a good girl. Don't chew my feet. All right, so apparently he's a Norwegian woodsman, and he's like a Viking, you know, warrior and all this shit. He's big, strong, tough man. And Bjorn Andreas Bull Hansen is his name. He even has a a dramatic Viking name. Okay. You know, he has a big manly beard. He does manly feats. And for a while, he was doing kind of cool content, talking about technology and talking about, you know, the wilderness of the woods and a man of the woods and all that stuff. And at first, I was like, you know, a lot of people from America, they were into it at first, like, you know, the rustic nature man, and you know, especially us in the prison of the big cities in America. You know, if somebody gets to live a rustic lifestyle, that's really amazing, because you know, either they make enough income to live a rustic lifestyle, and you know, they live out in nature, they live happy, you know, as man was intended to do, intended to live happy. Tula, stop! I'm gonna start busting butt, Tula. You don't get off my feet. Start busting that brown Shih Tzu butt. And so, what's it? Okay, so Bull Andreas Hansen. Yeah. Let's do the. Okay, and at first people were on board. They were all about it. They're like, yeah. Okay, here it is in the search bar. Bjorn Andreas Bull Hansen. Okay, there you go. Here he is right here. Got like not a billion views, but it's like appeals to some people that this dude is out there campfire cooking and catching his own fish and doing all this Viking stuff, and it seems pretty cool. And then then he starts with this: Norwegian man buys USA with dried fish. Okay, then he starts doing this shit. Yeah. And then he starts doing this like kind of anti-American shit, and I don't appreciate that. Yeah. What was one of his videos that really pissed American people off? Here it is. Here's the one. The hate and the ignorance. USA going down a dark path. So that really pissed people off. Here you go. The genocide in Gaza must stop. All right. Fair enough. Beware of the Russell Brands of this world. Oh, God. All right. Okay. Anyways, a lot of the titles are ridiculous. Beware of the Russell Brands of the world. Well, I don't know if I fear the Russell Brands of the world. I mean, it is what it is. A guy's very smart, handsome, and he gets some punani and becomes a big star, and he gets a lot of bush, and he slays a bunch of tail, and he's a multimillionaire. He's a successful dude. That's what most dudes want to do in their life, right? It's like slay some tail, get some ass, get some cash. That seems pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't seem like a bad deal. Seems pretty awesome. There you go. All right. That'd be good. Let's be good to you. No. Good? No. I'm gonna whoop butt. All right. So most mortal men, before they die, one day get old, shrivel up, and wither up, and get weak and die, like all men and women do. They want to get some money and get some tail, get some bush, get some money, get some bush, get some money, maybe have a house, a family, a legacy, a namesake, a legend, create a legend, a living legend in this life. And maybe that would echo into another time, and that seed would be part of another human evolution or whatever, a new human revolution in the future. So Russell Brand, I don't really see anything wrong with him, unless Bull Hansen thinks that he's a sexual predator or something like that. But I don't think. I know, is he a sexual predator? I mean, I don't know. When he was drinking and doing cocaine, a man would do anything under those kind of conditions. So, I don't know if he. It seems to me the Me Too movement, except for the Weinsteins, I would say it looks like a money witch hunt, like a free for all for lawyers and feminists to go after men who like straight men. It's just like an excuse for feminists and lawyers to go after wealthy straight white men. That's all it is, in a nutshell. There might be some sexual predators for sure, and that abuse their power and they treat females like garbage. That also may be true, but I think for the most part it's a witch hunt. Not all of it's a witch hunt, but like, I don't know, 80%. Those. I smell the Louisianese. Have they come? I smell those New Orleans. Move that first. Plastic. Look out for the bomber dog. He